Welcome to the American Lean Podcast. It's Tuesday, so that means we want to talk about culture issues. Today I want to provide a great tip that you can use to increase engagement, whether in brainstorming or just having normal conversation with people. And it's yes and. What that does is it opens up the communication lines with the person you're talking to. So it's a great principle to keep top of mind so you don't negate someone's ideas or input into a conversation. Let's say you're conducting a brainstorming activity and someone brings up an idea. When someone responds with, "That's okay," or "That won't work," that kills the entire process. Instead, try answering with, "Yes, and." So we'll get into more depth into the topic right after the intro.
Welcome to the American Lean Podcast, where we cover 5 topics in 5 days in about 5 minutes. The only place in the world where you can get daily lean coaching. Your host is Tom Reed, and he shares his 30 years of experience and covers leadership, culture, entrepreneurship, lean methodologies, Industry 4.0, and interviews special guests on their lean journey. We're glad you're here, so let's go.
Welcome to the American Lean Podcast. It's episode 44. And like I mentioned at the intro, we want to talk about using the yes and methodology to improve brainstorming or just personal engagement. When you say those two simple words, yes and, what you're communicating is that I heard you, I'm present with you, and please continue with your thought or idea. Those two words open the door for further ideas and communication from either that person or the rest of the group, allowing you to move forward together. No one solves a problem or has the best idea 30 seconds into the ideation process. You want to create a culture of yes and instead of but or some other answer. Let's take Jeff Bezos as an example. In the beginning of Amazon, I'm sure he was thinking about items that could easily be stored, wouldn't expire, would survive shipping, and would have constant demand. Obviously, he initially came up with books, but he applied the yes and principle to brainstorming. What else could be shipped after learning the processes that enabled the shipping of books in an efficient manner? Yes, and, well, how about shipping everything else? The yes and principle, I'm sure, allowed Amazon to become the sales and logistics juggernaut that it is today. How can you use this process to improve your brainstorming and engagement? Well, here are 4 tips. Tip number 1, obviously, say yes and begin use that methodology. Try communicating those 2 words to keep the brainstorm moving along and engaging your employees. It shows you want to hear more from them and increases their engagement. Tip number 2, be flexible. It's hard to be creative when you're rigid. Your brainstorming and creative process will be more authentic if you're flexible, and you'll do a better job of meeting your customer needs of tomorrow, not just today. Allow the creative process to flourish and then filter the many ideas through an impact effort matrix or pick chart to narrow down the best options for implementation. Develop what's called an MVP and try it with targeted customers to gain feedback. Tip number 3, use a ready, fire, aim process in your new product development. If you are able, try solutions before they are fully ready to get feedback from your target audience. And like I mentioned, that's referred to as an MVP or a minimum viable product, and that's often used in the software industry. What can you do as a manufacturer? Well, given the 3D printing capabilities today, can you develop MVPs for manufactured products? The feedback you receive from early prototypes will help you understand if your customer assumptions were correct. And tip number 4, give up attachment to preconceived ideas. Especially when brainstorming, you want to allow the group to be as creative as possible without having a solution in mind. Then, when you agree on a course of action, make sure you commit and take action. Everyone has great ideas, but those that act upon them are the ones that win in the marketplace. But it all starts with asking that question, yes and. So I hope you try this as you begin your lean journey. Realize the wonderful impact it can have on your culture. Now, consuming information is great, but I want you to take this information to make yourself and your company a little bit better today. This podcast is for you, so if there are topics that you would like me to cover, or if you'd like to share your company's lean journey, please contact me at tom@americanlean.com. Full show notes can be found at americanlean.com/blog. Say yes and to improve brainstorming and engagement. Until tomorrow, have a great one.
Thank you for joining us today. As always, we're honored to serve you, and we hope that you and your company are getting a little bit better every day. Please subscribe, rate, and review this podcast, and share it with others in the lean and business community. If you'd like to turbocharge your lean efforts, please visit us at americanlean.com.